Every setback was really a setup for the strength you have now. Let's talk about it right after this.
Educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work, an award-winning podcast where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here's your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
I thank you very much for tuning in today. So, I can look back now at moments that felt like where things really fell apart. Things felt like they collapsed, and where I might have lost a job, where it felt like my dreams were being delayed and opportunities that didn't pan out. And in all honesty, I thought I failed. But in reality, life was just repositioning me. So here's an example. For a lot of you who have listened to some of these episodes, you might have heard me talk about my health. And I did not know that how much pressure I was getting put on me, let alone that I was putting on myself to grow and achieve and to succeed in someone else's opportunity. And so what happened is that I get sick. I am stressed out because you're working a 9-to-5. I'm a new parent, relatively newly married, whatever the situation might be. And that's not including being the best brother, husband, father, son, nephew, grandson, friend, whatever it might have been, whatever title you want to put on it. Because in those comes, now you got to be a carpenter, you have to be a plumber, you have to be a mechanic, or whatever those situations might have been or caused you. Now, what happens? Now you're under stress, and you don't realize how much stress you're under until you start to literally fall apart. And so what happened is that now I have left my corporate America job. And because I was in a moment of transition, my pastor asked me to become a church administrator. And this is a church I had grown up in, and I wasn't sure about the position at first, but he encouraged me to, just help out, do some things or whatever it was. And so because I was in that place, I was being repositioned and start to look at things from another perspective for me to get to a point where I am today. And so during the moment, though, there were times when I truly felt like I was a failure, and I would question what my worth really was because it was the church I had grown up in. I felt like I couldn't motivate and galvanize the troops. Wasn't able to have some other type of influences that I expected to have, and people to see me for who I am, one, because I grew up in the church, as an adult, as a father, as whatever it might have been. And so I had lost track of my own worth. But what I didn't understand, that it was actually making me sharpen my work, my attitude. And because when it's looked at correctly, it's just simply the feedback that something can be refined. And because I felt like I was a failure, I was being refined in that moment. I was being sharpened. Because they say iron sharpens iron, right? And so even though I heard a lot of negative things, quite a few negative things, and I kept getting some feedback in those places or positions that was not the right or the best thing for what I felt like for me at that time, I didn't realize it really would put me in a better position and understand that when I heard that message or that idea or those words about me failing, that was actually improving me. It was also creating a place for me to understand what I needed to release myself from. And also maybe consider what to try differently. See, I want you to understand that failure is not a punishment. It's not a true setback like that. It's really preparation for your next step. And when you stop fearing the failure, you just might start growing faster, because failure does hold us back, because we're nervous of what's on the other side. We're nervous about getting more feedback that we feel like is going to pull us back, or we don't want to hear negative comments about ourselves. So we do pull back. We put ourselves back in a box and put ourselves in a corner somewhere. But if we take the time to really look back at what we might consider a failure, and let's rename it, instead of talking about the time that I lost something, maybe it's the time that you learned something, right? Because there is no right or wrong way. Some things might feel like it's a little longer than others, yes. But let's keep your head up. Let's keep it moving. Let's understand that the journey doesn't stop once you hit that place that you feel like where you're a failure. And then if you tell your story to someone else who might look at that as a struggle, they might see really where you won. And sometimes when you share from your battle wounds, your scars, it's the idea that you can now, because you've been through it and you've shown what it can look like on the other side. Now, are you finally that image of hope that someone was looking for? So at this time, when someone says to you, you can't be something, you can't do something, you're not going to achieve something, you have truly shown that there is something on the other end. So failure didn't end you. All it did was educate you. And these same moments that you thought that broke your confidence, it built your character. And if you survived it, you can now use it, right? So now let's take the opportunity to listen to that feedback. Take the opportunity to now understand that all you have been doing is creating a better version of yourself. And that the next time you come against an opportunity or even a moment of adversity, you now have the armor, you now have the tools to go forward. So when you take a moment and understand that in your journal, I would like for you to write this: that failure is the feedback, and I'm still in my formation stage. Failure is just feedback, and I'm still in the formation stage. Because if you look at failure as your feedback moment, you're still forming the individual. You're still creating the individual. You're still building the individual that's going to be there not just for yourself, but everyone else around you. Because the most powerful version of you is the one who refuses to let the past define the future. And so now as we look back over our life, the goal wasn't really to be all nostalgic and all that type of stuff. But in reality, it's all about transformation. And so let's understand that the lessons, the growth, and the mindset shifts that helps you move from regret to resilience has always been there. We just have to understand it. We have to unpack it, and we have to realize that we have it within us all along. It's not always easy because people will tell you that will never work. Or will it?
Thanks for listening. Follow Maurice Chisholm on social media to stay connected and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work. Or will it?